A TooFaced employee was fired after accusing Nicki of being a liar, and Nicki reveals how she found her blackmailer. Before I get into the story, I just want to put out a disclaimer. Please do not send any hate to NikkieTutorials, Lisa Blandino, TooFaced, or anyone else involved in this story. This video is simply meant to report on the news and give some insight on the situation. On January 14th, TooFaced Cosmetics co-founder's sister, Lisa Blandino, accused YouTuber NikkieTutorials of being a liar. In Lisa's Instagram bio, she wrote, "Transgender, huh? That's not the only thing she's been lying about." She later changed her bio to, "Let's be clear, I love trans people and dislike anyone who lies to hurt others, period." A day earlier, Nicki posted a YouTube video where she came out as a transgender woman after being blackmailed. Lisa was likely referring to Nicki's decision to not tell her fans about being transgender sooner.
You have no idea that for 11 years that I've had my channel, this has been with me. And I always wanted to share this with you, but I cannot believe that after today, the world will know. But there's one thing that I really want to make so clear to all of you. I am me. I am still Nicki. Nothing changes about that.
In a statement posted to Twitter, Lisa's brother, Jared Blandino, praised Nicki for sharing her story and condemning his sister's accusations. "I would like to make sure it is understood that although I love my sister very much, the things she says or does have absolutely nothing to do with me and do not in any way reflect me, my opinions, thoughts, or feelings, nor speak for me or TooFaced in any way, shape, or form. I have always stood for love, equality, and kindness in my life and everything I do. I am sorry for the hurt she has caused. Let it be known that I am truly shocked and disgusted to my core at her recent actions. I do not tolerate this behavior, and she is no longer an employee of TooFaced. I would like to say how proud I am of NikkieTutorials and how inspired I am for her strength and sharing her beautiful truth with the world. I am sending all my love to her." Lisa was also likely referring to the ongoing tension between Nicki and TooFaced. In 2016, Nicki partnered with TooFaced for her first ever beauty collaboration. They launched a kit that sold for $56 and included a highlighter, bronzer, mascara, liquid eyeliner, eye primer, glamour dust, eyeshadows, and blushes. While beauty YouTubers gave the kit positive reviews, many fans who purchased the collab were disappointed with the quality. Despite the criticism, TooFaced allegedly earned $10 million from the collaboration. In 2017, there were rumors about how much Nicki earned from the collab compared to TooFaced.
This is a very reliable source, and no, it's not Jeffree. NikkieTutorials only made 50 grand off the collab with TooFaced. She sold 150,000 units and took them 9 months to pay her. They said it was going to take 6 months to pay her, but it took 9 months to pay her. And within those 9 months, she couldn't work with any other company.
Nicki remained silent about the rumors until it was brought up again 2 years later. In 2019, Shane Dawson released a docuseries on the beauty community where Jeffree Star talked about how collaborations typically work.
So like a normal collaboration would be probably like 20% on a very fair end.
He said he's seen YouTubers and other influencers take dirt because they didn't know what was fair at the time, including Nicki.
I've seen YouTubers and other $10 million of product, and probably more than that, and she got just a little flat fee and some dirt, no residuals, nothing, and she didn't know.
2 days after the docuseries was released, Nicki released a statement about what happened. She said she was naive when she signed her contract and blamed herself for getting a raw deal from TooFaced. However, Nicki said she would never forgive the company for allegedly changing the quality of the palette behind her back. Because of the backlash, she said she had to fight for years to gain her fans' trust back. At the time, TooFaced did not respond to the allegations or to the media's requests for comment. On January 22nd, Nicki appeared on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. In the interview, Ellen asked Nicki how she found out that she was being blackmailed. Nicki said she started receiving emails from her blackmailer a couple of weeks ago, who had a very pressuring tone of voice.
He was like, if we don't get an answer by tomorrow, it's out. And I feel like his entire goal was with this to destroy my life.
On January 28th, Nikkie posted a video where she spoke more about her blackmailer and asked people to stop the witch hunt.
If anyone's gonna have the right to tell more about these blackmailers, it's gonna be me. How I deal with this situation and what information I would like to share at the end of the day is my story. No other person or media outlet should be the one talking about my blackmailer when they only know half of the truth.
She said with the help of police, she found her blackmailer's name, phone numbers, addresses, and how they treated people around her to get more information on her story.
And let me tell you, when I found out exactly who was behind this all, I was shocked, because this is not a person that any of you know. It is someone that I don't even personally know. Finding out exactly who did this was frightening, but freeing at the same time. It's frightening because you know that someone is out there so evil.
She said while she has the power to destroy her blackmailer's life and his family and friends' lives, she won't.
I think in a way they already got their punishment. They now know that I know exactly who it is. And I think they're gonna have a little bit of that fear that one day maybe their name is gonna leak to the press and they're gonna feel exactly the same thing as I was feeling. But I think it is my right to determine if I want that name to come out or not.
This seems to be the end of the situation for now. So, what's the big issue? The treatment that Nikkie faced after coming out as a transgender woman, from being called a liar to receiving backlash for not telling her fiancé sooner. In Nikkie's video, she said that she started her YouTube channel at a time when things were different.
You know, I started my channel back in the days where I still got really bullied for all of this, and this was my way out.
She said she didn't want people to distrust her or look at her differently.
Or think that I have changed. I have changed in a bit because damn, this feels liberating and freeing, but I, at the end of the day, am still Nikkie. And nothing changes about that.
Though other people besides Lisa took to social media to call Nikkie a liar. I don't care how you identify. If you love someone, they had a right to know, and not when you felt was right. Always. No respect for liars, no excuses, period. That's not okay. As a member of the trans community, this is a slap in the face. Please, people, don't do what Nikkie told you to do in her video, which was wait to tell your partner that you're trans to be sure you're in good hands. Have the respect to tell them up front. I'm disgusted. Nikkie isn't the only public figure who was threatened because of their identity, and in some cases, their career and lives were endangered. For example, models Tracy Norman, April Ashley, and Caroline Cossey all lost their careers after being outed in the 60s and 80s. In an interview with BuzzFeed News, Nick Adams, GLAAD's director of transgender media and representation, said, "Historically, we know that when our gender history is revealed to others, it can result in loss of job, loss of friends, and often loss of life. As a society, we've all learned, especially over the last few decades, that it's not appropriate to out someone who is lesbian, gay, or bisexual. The same holds true for trans people, but there's less understanding of the harmful and violent consequences of outing a trans person. While Tracy, April, and Caroline were outed decades ago, there is slow progress towards transgender people finding media work, even for the most famous actors. In an IndieWire article, staff writer Jude Dry wrote about Emmy-winning actress Trace Lissette's experience. With more trans roles being written than ever before, it's reasonable to assume that Lissette would be awash with new offers. In reality, she didn't earn enough in 2018 to qualify for SAG's relatively low minimum, between $17,000 and $33,000 during a base earnings period, to be eligible for health insurance. In an interview, Trace said her experience was kind of embarrassing and telling of how hard it is to be a trans woman in Hollywood. It's an odd thing when you walk down the street and people come up to you with tears in their eyes regarding your work and telling you how much your representation means to them. And then you look at your bank account and it's like, what the is happening? It's not adding up, literally. According to CNN, 30% of transgender employees report that they have been fired, denied a promotion, or mistreated at work due to their gender identity. Their unemployment rate is 3 times higher for transgender people than the general population, and 42% report having been homeless at some point, more than 5 times the rate of the general population. In Nikkie's video, she said that she's aware people will ask a lot of questions about her fiancé Dylan. She said their relationship moved fast and that she struggled with finding the right time to tell him.
And the thing is, especially for me, and I don't know how other trans people do this, but especially for me, this is my story. In my love life, it is flippin' scary, okay? Trusting someone enough to be truly you, flippin' scary. So to me, I wait until I tell my full story until I know I'm in good hands, because people out there are scary and dangerous.
In the past, Nikkie found herself in relationships with people who weren't open to communicating like Dylan.
Life was in shambles, and I didn't trust men, I didn't trust life was dark. It was a very dark period for me.
While Nikkie wished that she told Dylan sooner, she still received backlash from the public. Many can relate to Nikkie's struggle of coming out to a partner before and after a relationship is started. In a Vox article, journalist German Lopez cited a national survey that revealed 45% of trans and gender non-conforming people who came out to partners had their relationships end. About 29% of those with children experienced an ex-partner limiting their contact with their children. Trans women reported generally worse outcomes, with 57% seeing their relationships end and 34% having their relationships with their children limited or stopped. Though, German said many of the respondents to the survey, and some people I talked to for this story, reported loving, caring family relationships that continued after their transitions. The topic of when, how, and whether a transgender person should disclose their transgender to potential partners is an ongoing debate. In an LGBTQ Nation column, transgender activist Bryn Tannehill wrote, "Like any complex social and ethical issue, there are a lot of aspects to consider." Bryn said that generally, there is no requirement for someone to fully disclose sexual history unless there's a known health risk, nor does an individual have to provide a complete list of whom they have slept with, when, and what acts they have performed, nor is there a legal requirement to list surgeries you have had. She added, treating an already marginalized population as a special case further adds to the perception of transgender people being part of an untouchables caste. Indeed, the acceptance of the violence visited on transgender women based on non-disclosure has a chilling parallel in honor killings of women. So you see, Nikkie's fears of being distrusted, treated differently, and losing Dylan weren't unfounded. It's never easy to tell others your full life story, especially when you're in the public eye and face being discriminated against. Many can understand why Nikkie hesitated to tell her fans and fiancé about her past. Her channel was, and still is, about her passion for makeup, and her previous experiences made it difficult for her to talk about. What's important is that she took back her power from the people who blackmailed her and is owning her past, which will likely inspire more people to do the same. What do you think about this story? Do you think it was wrong for people to call Nikkie a liar and give her backlash? Let me know in the comments below.